All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the November 16th release 1.23 burn down meeting. This is the Tuesday edition. It is week 13 of the release cycle. I'm your host. My name is Ray Lejano, the release lead. I'm going to go right into the meeting notes. I'm going to share my screen. Since today is a very big day in the release cycle, if you haven't, please sign in. I did forget to mention that since the Kubernetes project is part of the CNCF, we do abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which boils down to be nice and to be excellent to each other. Also, this meeting is also recorded and uploaded to YouTube. So if there's anything you do not want to say that's going to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, please save it for the end. So just starting off with please sign in as an attendee for today's burn down meeting. Starting off with open discussion, today is one of the bigger days in the release cycle. Today is code freeze, which starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So what that means that any code PRs, which we refer to as KK or Kubernetes/Kubernetes PRs, they must be approved by 6 p.m. today to make it into the 1.23.0 release that's scheduled on December 7th. To actually initiate code freeze, there's a pull request and test infra here. That is, take a look at that. And what it does, once it's already been approved and LGTM'd, we'll remove the hold on it at 6 p.m. Pacific time today. And so this pull request will stop any KKPRs that do not have the release 123 milestone in it and merge into the master branch of KK. So we'll do that later today. That's how we initiate code freeze. We'll also send out another communication to the community as well that will go out after 6 p.m. today or tomorrow morning that code freeze has started and that they want any code PRs to be in the master branch of Kubernetes/Kubernetes for release 123. They have to file for an exception. So like I mentioned, code freeze today. We'll start off with that and we'll continue with that discussion. And with the team's update, starting off with enhancements and Xander.
Yeah, so today, like you said, big day. Our plan is to just kind of, we'll for sure do at least one more pass of all the enhancements to kind of finalize the state, but I intend to keep an eye on things for most of the day today. I do kind of want to stress that the numbers you see here are like actively in flux. We've all, those of you that have kind of been through a release before know that there's a lot that happens today, like people get things over the line just in time. So those numbers will be changing throughout the day today, I anticipate. But yeah, at this moment, we have 24 that made enhancements freeze, but are at risk of not landing code freeze. We will have our code freeze get together at 6 p.m. tonight to finalize the state of things. And then I intend to send out an email update with the final information tomorrow.
Nice. All right. I just have one comment. One of the exceptions that we granted over the weekend, even though it's for the same cap, but it's for 4 enhancement issues. One of them is likely going to be in 124. I'll post it on the Slack. I think one of the zero file CSI migration is most likely going to be 124. But the enhancement owner is in Asia, so we're probably not likely going to make code freeze at 6 p.m. But their KKPR already states it's for 124 as well. So I had a look. So I contacted the SIG chairs for that SIG and just to confirm. So I'll send it over on the enhancements Slack channel just to give the enhancement team a heads up on that one. All right, any other comments or questions? All right, let's move on to CI Signal with Leonard.
If I think Leo has some problem with the microphone, I can take it from here. Hossein from CI Signal. Actually, our current state is yellow due to 3 failing jobs in master informing. But yeah, for tomorrow, for the next release cut, we have no problem in the master blocking, so everything fine from there. And as you can see, we are following all the possible flaky jobs and also the issues about the failing jobs. So yeah, we are tracking all the current issues closely, and yeah, we are in contact with the respective SIGs to take care of the failing issues. So that's all from our side.
Okay. I know 2 of the failing jobs in master informing, they've been failing for quite a bit, or the issue has been open for quite some time, right? For GCE, COS, master serial on.
Yeah, I can tell a bit more about this issue because it was in the beginning a different error. So
Okay.
they fixed it, but again, we opened a new issue for it, and it's regarding another issue. But actually, we are blocked at the moment because of a current pull request is still on hold. And as soon as SIG storage close that pull request, so the issue will be resolved. So that's why
Okay.
it is still, that's why we are still waiting.
All right. Can you Slack me that pull request? Because there's one pull request I know it's failing for SIG storage. That is, I wonder if it's tied to it.
Yeah, I will put in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's all from CI Signal.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, any other comments or questions for CI Signal? All right, next up is bug triage with Christoph.
Yeah, Christoph is not here. Also, I'm Xingyuan. So the status is green because there's no blocking issues for release and not blocking PRs. And we have 13 open non-test KK issues and also 15 KK PRs and 17 open KK issues.
Okay, thank you. So what's important for folks, so like myself, who have not been part of bug triage, but I know that since we're cutting a beta release tomorrow, that is very important to make sure we don't have any critical urgent issues, and critical urgent PRs are open. So that's one thing we do watch out for, especially cutting it close to the beta release tomorrow. All right, any comments or questions for bug triage? All right, next up is docs with Chris.
So originally we were tracking 54 enhancements, needed documentation. 9 of those don't require any, and 45 need docs. Of those, 20 are at risk. So we're getting down to, I guess we'll know after tomorrow, which ones of those don't make it. But for the most part, there's only a handful of KEPs that don't have that need docs that don't have PRs just already opened. So we have 7 in draft, 10 are ready for review, and 6 have merged. Integration branch is healthy. So again, we'll know tomorrow better how far behind we are. So we're still yellow until we get a look at that.
All right, thank you, Chris. Since code freeze is later tonight or this afternoon, I do suggest tomorrow just to take a look to see what's been removed from the milestone or what's been removed from the release, and go ahead and start pinging them tomorrow. I know it's the day before
Right.
Doc's placeholder PR deadline. I did put a note again in the email that went out yesterday to the community, but we've been doing that for several weeks now. So so I do suggest making those comments on the GitHub issue for those that are still in the release for 123 and start pinging them. If it's on November 18th on the deadline itself, we'll help out, myself and Lee Chavs will help out to reach out to those enhancement owners and get those docs placeholder PRs made.
Sure. Yeah. If none of the at risk make it, there really aren't that many still to reach out to. So it's a small handful.
Okay. Sounding
Thanks.
good. Thank you, Chris. All right, moving on to release notes with CC.
Yeah, not much changed from yesterday. Lucas did a great job on generating the release notes for Alpha 4, but there are still some leftover comments being dropped from this PR. So I will working with him to get a following up PR raised after this one is merged. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I did see all those comments that there are some changes that needs to be done for that pull request for that. And for those that's linked here, it's updating the release notes draft just to make sure the release notes are actually good, valid release notes. So are some changes requested. All right, any comments or questions for release notes or CC? All right, don't see, is anyone from comms on the line?
Hey, this is Mickey, I'm on.
Hey, Mickey, could you give an update?
It's not a big one. We did get one more blog post yesterday. So pod admission is going to be, that one is already submitted to us in draft form, but we're still waiting on everybody else to submit their blog drafts.
So you have 3 drafts, 3 out of the 7 so far. Okay. That's actually pretty, that's actually pretty good for at this time.
Yeah? Okay. Good.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Any comments or questions for comms or Mickey? All right, next up is release branch management with Veronica.
Hello. So we're yellow. Since tomorrow we're cutting the beta release, as Ray have already mentioned. I'm just a tiny bit concerned with the more flaky jobs in the master blocking, especially because I realized that they have been under the same test and test grid, but for different reasons. I don't think that there will be major issues, but just keeping an eye on them. What else? Yeah, as Ray mentioned as well, we're merging the code freeze PR later today. I will make a note on the release manager's channel, but if someone can merge that at the specific time, please, because it will be 2 a.m. for me.
Okay.
Because I'm in Ireland, so I'll do my best to be around, but if I cannot, please, yeah, I'll leave a note anyway. And then, yeah, since we're cutting the beta release tomorrow, I'm sending the PR to give Taylor the relevant permissions later today as well. So just keep an eye on that to approve that. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
and of course, sorry, let us know if you need anything from us. Like if there, I know that CI Signal have been on top of everything, and if so far, if we were to cut the release right now, I think we would be okay. But should anything happen, let us know if you need any last minute approvals or help or any triage, whatever. Yeah, we're here for you all.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, I did notice that a good number of the master blocking jobs were flaky. Something to keep an eye on. I know we had one failure, or we had one of them as failure on Monday morning, but it went to flaky pretty quickly. Just going back here. So the idea of 6 jobs are flaky. So we'll keep an eye on it. And Veronica, I'll watch out for that Slack thread as well. If any branch manager could merge the code freeze pull request. I know it's already been LGTM'd and approved. It just needs a hold to be released. So
yeah, we literally need someone that to manually do it.
So I know in the past branch managers have done it, so just looking at past pull requests, but I could get in touch with Adolfo and I'll watch that thread if anyone's available. If not, yeah, I'm sure we'll have someone to release hold at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be available till like for sure at least till 1 a.m. for me, which is 1 hour before that. So okay. I'm sure that I'll be around, but just a preemptive note.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Keep an eye on those on that Slack message or in that Slack thread in a little bit. All right. Moving on. Any other questions for branch management?
Ray, I forgot to ask in my section. Did you get a chance to talk to Xander about locking down a webinar date?
I did not. I see no Xander's on this call. I'll reach out to Xander on Slack.
Yeah,
right
you
after
can
this.
you can ping me anytime today, Ray. We can
Okay.
chat about it.
Okay.
Sounds
thanks, guys.
good. Thank you for bringing that up. So, all right, moving on. I'll get an update from Jeremy. I don't know if Jeremy's on this call. All right, so I'll go with my updates. We do need more major themes, and that's something that we'll start with tomorrow after code freeze. And like I mentioned before, we could definitely use like the tie in how the feature blogs, several of the feature blogs could be major themes, and they kind of align with each other. So we'll reach out to the enhancement owners for some of the feature blogs that we know of that are great major themes. So we'll have those ready. Other notes, today is code freeze, or later today at 6 p.m. is the start of code freeze, so which is the big milestone in the release cycle. Tomorrow is another big milestone as well. The first and only beta is cut. So that's what Taylor is doing, is cutting the process for that tomorrow. And that's what Veronica mentioned as well. On Thursday, 2 days from now, is a docs placeholder PR deadline. We've always had this issue where they come in very close to the deadline. So we have we are on trend for that, even though it's something that we do not prefer. But it looks like it's kind of in line with the enhancements that are at risk. So like I mentioned earlier for the docs team, that after code freeze today, after we removed some enhancements for the milestone, just to for the docs team to check tomorrow and to ping those enhancement owners on those GitHub issues on the docs placeholder PR deadline. And on Thursday, if there's for the missing ones, myself and the other lead shadows will help out on reaching out to those enhancement owners. Next week is a big holiday week for us folks in the US, with being US Thanksgiving on the 25th, but the Tuesday before, it's also another big day with test freeze. Meaning that we're going to do another RC, our first RC cut, and the release 123 branch is created, and also the release 123 jobs are created as well. Then we start in with we try to make sure that the docs are ready for review, or at a state that they're ready for review to be merged in the following week. Also, the final draft of the release notes is also started when the first RC is made as well. Same with the release blog as well. We should be able to start drafting the release blog this week, especially after code freeze. And like I mentioned before, that they all kind of tie in how some of the feature blogs will tie into what to highlight in the release blog. Same with major themes as well. So, all right, that's it for my updates. Any comments or questions?
So just one question regarding to the major themes. We plan to reuse the same spreadsheet, like for the enhancement and the documents for the major themes collection. Is that okay? Like we can create a separate sheet inside of the same file.
I'm gonna defer to Xander because I know there's some permissions tied in with that sheet.
Sorry, could you ask that again? I missed it.
Could we use the same sheet for the major theme collection?
Yeah, that should be fine.
I mean, there is some...
Let's DM about it on Slack. I think if we can find a way to track that along with the, denote a Kappa as a major theme. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. We'll talk over Slack. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And also 6 scalability is green. I did reach out to them and state that if there's any changes, especially moving forward with code freeze starting today and test freeze next week, and with the beta cuts and RC cut in the next few weeks, there's a lot of things going on. So we're actually technically in the last 2 weeks of the release, even though we have 3 weeks, but the week 16 is just 2 days, and we're on the second day of week 13 already. So technically we only have 2 real weeks left for the release, and lots of milestones and deadlines will of course come in the last 2 weeks of the release, and also with some issues might come up as well, or definitely a lot of things come up. So that's why we do these daily burn down meetings. And I thank you very much for your time, for joining. And I'm going to stop the recording here.